This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. A man is dead after he was gunned down around 11 last night in the Pinewood Gardens area, leaving criminal investigators with the task of searching for the gunman. Police say initial investigations reveal that the victim was walking south along Guava Street, Pinewood Gardens, when he was approached by a lone gunman. On seeing the man brandishing the firearm, the victim turned to run away. However, while attempting to make his escape, the suspect shot him several times about his body. He subsequently collapsed in the street. Officers were alerted to the shooting incident sometime after 11 p.m. And on the arrival of the first responding officers, they discovered the adult male lying in the street unresponsive. Emergency medical services visited the scene and pronounced the man lifeless. This matter remains under active investigation. The Consumer Protection Commission issuing a statement last evening announcing that it's looking at staggering price increases due to U.S. inflation. That said, the Commission adds that it has taken note of the rise in inflation in the United States, the Bahamas' largest trading partner, and the warnings from local merchants that the price of everyday goods are expected to also rise as a result. It says it will continue to monitor the global change in prices of consumables and ensure that all local wholesalers and suppliers abide by the regulations laid out in the Consumer Protection Act and the Price Control Act. However, the Commission advises that Bahamians should bear in mind that inflation in the United States has risen by more than 7% in the past year, the largest annual spike in the Consumer Price Index for the nation in more than 30 years. Consumer Protection Commissioner Walter Ferguson says one of the biggest challenges in our country is that more than 90% of our goods are imported due to the supply chain disruptions, bad weather, staff, and trucking issues in our #1 source market, the United States. That said, he says our prices will rise. He adds that there is no way at this time to control this global environment, and what we will have to do as Bahamians, he says, is buckle our belts, tighten up, and buy what is needed more than what is wanted. The Consumer Protection Commission reminds Bahamians of their rights to receive expected value for their services and purchases rendered, which are safeguarded by the legislation. Consumers are advised that they can launch a formal complaint to the Commission at www.cpcbahamas.org, ensuring that they include copies of relevant documents, including receipts, warranties, contracts, email correspondences, and a concise explanation of the grievance. And COVID-19 cases in country continue on a steady decline as it appears the Bahamas is nearing the end of the 4th wave of the pandemic. 15 new cases were confirmed on Wednesday, February 9th, 11 here on New Providence, 4 with a history of travel, 2 on Grand Bahama, and 1 on Abaco and Exuma each. Active cases now at 6,602, 62 of them in hospital, as hospitalizations also see a steady decline. 59 of these patients are moderately ill, while 3 remain in intensive care. The death toll remains at 756. However, the Ministry of Health and Wellness reports 1 additional death under investigation, pushing the total there to 47. Total confirmed cases in country at 32,871, with 50 people being reported recovered from the coronavirus. Total recoveries in country at 25,300. A notable attorney and avid sailor who represented the Bahamas in sailing competitions at the 1960, 1964, 1968, and 1972 Summer Olympics, Sir Godfrey Kelly, has died. Sir Godfrey passed away at his home on the Eastern Road on Thursday morning, sometime around 10:30 a.m. Sir Godfrey topped the Queen's New Year's honors on 2020 and received the Knight Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, KCMG. He was officially knighted at the ceremony at Government House in September of the same year. Sir Godfrey was educated at Queen's College here in Nassau and McDonough College Preparatory School in Baltimore, Maryland, before training in law at Cambridge University in Middle Temple, London. He practiced law for 66 years at Higgs and Kelly before retiring in June of 2019. He was elected as a representative for the Cat Islands constituency under the United Bahamian Party in 1956, 1962, and 1967. He served as Minister of Education between 1964 and 1967. He was also appointed to the Senate in 1968. Sir Godfrey died at the age of 93. And 100 new police constables receiving their charge from the nation's chief after 4 long months of training to join the ranks of the Royal Bahamas Police Force on Thursday afternoon during a passing out parade ceremony. Prime Minister Philip Davis, in his keynote address to the new officers, told them that they are no longer civilians and they must be careful of their actions as they have a duty to keep the police force's reputation intact. He also told them that they will be held to a higher standard and scrutinized at every turn.
An officer's integrity should not fear it. In fact, he should embrace it. Citizens have a right to have a say in how they are policed. We should police by consent. That is the only way in which we will ultimately be effective. You begin your tenure at a time where there are raging debates about law enforcement officers and how they execute their duties. The arguments relative to the use of force and perceived bias have dominated local conversations and exploded on social media.
When the officers entered training back in September of last year, they were placed in a bubble due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Davis told the officers he knows that it added a layer of complexity and stress to an already intense program, and reminded the new constables about the great responsibility that comes with the job.
Crime and the fear of crime are real concerns for many people. As you join this valiant fight, rest assured that my government is committed to your cause. States have been begging for reinforcement, and you are the answer to their pleas. You have sworn to prevent and detect crime, preserve the peace, protect life and property, apprehend all offenders, and enforce the laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is a sacred privilege. You must prize and guard it jealously and zealously. You have been vested with great power and authority. You must never forget the great responsibility that comes with it.
Commissioner of Police Paul Rowe formally congratulated the officers and reminded them that prayer is key. He also notes that he has no doubt that staff at the police college has prepared the new officers for their professional life outside the walls of the police training college. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Leah Cooper, and from all of us here at JCN News, have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.